Okay, welcome to A Cut Above with the Southern Forest Products Association. We're really excited today to have Heidi Schmidt, Global Sales Manager with Opticom Tech. Heidi, happy to have you
Hey,
today.
hey. Thanks so much for having me. I'm honored to be here. I'm pretty fired up about it.
Absolutely. Well, let's just go ahead and jump in here. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do at Opticom? What does Opticom do? How long have you been doing it? Just kind of set the stage for us about who you are and what Opticom does.
Yeah, so my name is Heidi Schmidt. Opticom does cameras for the sawmills, built specifically for mills. We've been in that industry for a really long time. Opticom's been around since 1973. We've worked with the sawmills since the mid to late 90s, doing cameras. And I've personally been in the camera industry for 20 years, and I've been in and out of sawmills for about 17 of those 20 years. So that's the Cliff's Notes on me.
I know you could probably talk for hours about what it is and what you do and what Opticom does, but it sounds like you have some experience. So let's get a fun question to start this off with, which is why do you enjoy working in the forest products industry, the Southern pine lumber industry? What is it that kind of motivates you?
So, so I live in Michigan, but I'm a Louisiana girl, so these are my people. So it gives me a lot of reasons to come back to the South and watch the South kind of like flourish and grow in this area. And I've just grown to love the industry and the people in it. Everybody's so genuine, friendly, helpful, caring. It really is, of all the industries I work in, my favorite industry to just be in and territory in the U.S.
And why is that? What are some of the things that make the Southern pine industry so unique, so special?
It's the people. I mean, the pine, the mills, the everything we do, it's the people. I don't know that I've ever met a more welcoming and friendlier bunch of people. And it doesn't matter where I go in the Southeast. And I've been in and out of a lot of mills over my 17 years doing this. It's the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And I'm excited every time I get to see somebody, meet somebody, and chat with them and hopefully help them out.
Well, what surprises you the most about this industry? You said you've been doing it for about, or in this industry, in this space for about 17 years. What would you say is it surprises you? Because it's an ever evolving industry, ever evolving technology, obviously, with what you do with cameras. Um, what's that surprise element?
So I think it's just surprising every time I go in that, number one, the people in the mills are getting younger and younger. So I don't know if that's a real thing or if I'm just getting older. But that is always surprising that I see them doing this. But really, the way the technology evolves but stays the same is always interesting to me in the sawmill industry, because you're using all of this big machinery and it's basically the same, but they have these technological advances that I get to see at not only the shows but in the mills in action. And every time I'm just like, oh, look at that. They improved that process. I wonder who thought of that. How did they do that? And it's just, how do you make something so basic, not to downplay it, so basic, so technologically advanced? It's very intriguing.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because at SFPA, one of our taglines is, we're stronger together, right? So it's encouraging to hear you say that, you see either competitors or other technologies in the sawmill that all play together, right? Because we are a unified industry. We all kind of work together from the beginning to the end of the whole process. But specifically for Opticom, what is the one thing or maybe the top three things that you and Opticom do differently for the Southern pine industry that sets you apart?
Yeah. So what we do differently is that our job is to build cameras to last within a sawmill. So our products are built for a sawmill. It's not the other way around, whereas a lot of companies out there are building really tough products for things and then they just kind of work for a sawmill. The sawmill is actually our first market that we go to. So when we build a new product, it's not tested in labs, it's not tested. We call up our guys in the mills and I'm like, hey, I got this camera. I need you to throw it in a kiln and see what's going to happen. And that's how we test and develop our products. Secondly, our customer service, like Opticom came around in 1973. I wasn't around in the 70s, but from what I hear, customer service was pretty on point. And so our goal is really to still try to provide that 1973 customer service in a world where we really just feel like customer service is a lost art.
Well, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier about this is a people business, right? And I think it's kind of interesting. I've talked about this a lot that yes, technology, AI is great, but you still need that human element. So it's really encouraging, but also interesting that you said the customer service part is so important because it still is people to people, right? It's a people to people business. Um, so
Yeah.
it just ironic as we advance technology, people are still the most important part of this. Um, Let me talk about this. What are your hopes for the industry? Where do you see the industry going in the next 5, 10 years? What do you hope is going to happen? Whether it's related
So
to camera technology or just the industry as a whole.
yeah, well, both really. I mean, from a camera standpoint, obviously that we can continue to keep up with the technology and create solutions that are going to continue to work within the mills, and we can continue to partner with sawmills that are willing. Like I said, when we call them, we're like, "Hey, can we throw this out there?" That are still willing to work with us and kind of do that R&D with us to because the reality is if we can solve it for one location and one sawmill, we know that that product is going to be a fit for all of the other sawmills with similar equipment. So number one, so we hope for that, obviously. As far as for the industry as a whole, really that we stay steady in the US, right? In the Southeast. And, we don't know what the future holds with anything right now, but hopefully we can stay steady here with growth, but also more opportunities to export. I mean, really, that's to me, I think really important for us to be able to have that opportunity for growth and other areas around the world.
Right. So specifically this year, because I'm going to put you on the spot where I'm probably going to follow up with you this time next year. But what are you most excited about in 24? What are you seeing this year? What are you most excited about um, to see come out? Whether again it's from Opticom or from the industry.
To come out, I'm honestly, it's not necessarily an industry thing, but what I would be most excited about in 24 is that I've got a lot of plans. Opticom has a lot of plans to go and visit a lot of mills. So I'm excited to learn because there's so much technology that's coming out. I just was scrolling LinkedIn last night and saw a company posted a new, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say other company names, but a new product that they just launched. And I'm excited to go into the mills and see how these are working so that we can get a better handle on how they're working, how the processes are changing and shifting, how the operators are using it so that we can then adapt our products to be a better fit. So I'm excited to really have boots on the ground and of course to meet everybody that I talk to on a regular basis via email or on the phone and really just get to have those face-to-face person-to-person interactions.
Yeah. Well, in closing, final question here. You made it all the way through. Where do you see the industry in 10 years? What total blank canvas? What do you expect to see from a technology perspective related to Southern Pine lumber manufacturing in 2034?
Yeah, so I expect to see it thriving. Although, and I put a lot of thought into this because I knew you were going to ask me something like this, right? And I'm like, it's going to be thriving, but I think it's going to be different. I think it's going to be thriving in a different way. I think it's going to adapt, and I can't tell you how, and I can't tell you where it's going, but I think it's going to shift. And I think we all know this, right? There are shifts that are happening, big shifts, but I think people are going to find new ways to use the pine that we can't even imagine right now. So I was really just thinking about it last night and just excited, like, man, what's it like? You know what I mean? Like, what's it going to be? Because there's so many people out there that are so creative, and I think we're going to see it. But at the end of the day, we're Americans, we're resilient, and by the grace of God, we're Southerners. So I don't think we're
Yeah.
going anywhere, right? Like,
No, it is. I mean, to echo your sentiment, we're obviously all hearing the same things. It's the sustainability message that's so important. You see the rise in mass timber, but you see so many more uses of wood coming out, and architects and design professionals that are really kind of expanding the use. I read an article last week about I can't remember which Asian country is looking at launching wooden satellites. I
wow.
don't know where that's going to go. But wood and space, is that our next frontier? Who knows? But yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. And I think the evolution, it just never ends, and the good thing about it is that we have such a 100-year long history, centuries long history of using wood. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get better, right? So,
Yeah.
um, Heidi, before we close this out, any parting thoughts, anything that we may have missed or anything you want to share?
No, I mean, really, like, it's just at the end of the day, all the questions and what do we love? Like, we at Opticom, what do we love about Southern Forest Products and really just about the Southeast with this, it's just, it really is the people, like it is. And you and I have had these conversations about this people to people business. It really is the people to people business of you call, you get a person, not a recording. You have a problem, you have a person helping you. You have someone following up, right? It's just, and I just hope within our industry, and that is one of the things we've loved with working with so many sawmills over the years, is that it's always people to people. We're doing relationships, we're doing business, we're helping each other. And whether we mean to or not, it's relational and it's caring and there's compassion and there's so many good things. Like I said before, I just love the people here. So I really appreciate the opportunity for us to come and share a little bit about our thoughts. We're excited to obviously be a part of SFPA and the expos and all the things. And we're here. So if you need us.
Absolutely. Well, it's not the last you'll see of Heidi or any of our members. So thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys.